Hello everybody. In this video I would like to share a few thoughts about what I call the power of perseverance. And in to do that I would like to kind of talk about this movie that I saw a number of years ago because I think it actually epitomizes, in my opinion, this concept of uh, perseverance, the power to just keep going no matter what happens and to never give up. The name of the movie is Castaway, and the the only person in the movie, actually, for the most part, was Tom Hanks. And in this movie, he played the character of someone who worked for, I think it was FedEx. It's been a while since I saw the movie, but it could have been one of the others. But it was his job was to deliver packages, all over the place, and he had to make this trip, some last minute delivery of something important, and so he had to travel in a small plane, and there was dangerous weather coming. Bottom line, he ended up getting shipwrecked, or a plane wrecked, I guess you would say, on this small desert island out in the middle of nowhere. And most of the movie is just talks about, or shows everything he had to go through to survive, and to and his never-ending attempts to get off of this island so that he could rejoin his family and just get back into the real world again. And one of the things that they show toward the beginning of the movie is everything that he had to go through just um, to make fire. And I mean, he showed him just countless attempts of like rubbing sticks together, and because obviously he didn't have a cigarette lighter or matches or anything like that. And anyway, long story short, he did eventually, after just continuously never giving up, he finally was able to make some fire. And then, of course, the challenge became well, don't let the fire go out, because it certainly wouldn't want to have to go through all that again of making fire again. And then another thing that he spent quite a bit of time doing during this movie was constructing rafts and coming up with different kinds of ways, of course, to get off of the island and sail to back to civilization. But he discovered that on this particular island, any place that he had where he could launch anything that he built to get off of the island was this very strong incoming tide, and just big waves and things that, like, anytime he tried to get across it, he was just never able to succeed. It would break his raft apart, or he would be overcome in just one way or the other. And bottom line, he just kind of figured, well, uh, it's just hopeless. How I just will never be able to get off of this island because of the circumstances. And anyway, toward the end of the movie, we see him kind of just lying there, and his eyes are closed, and we're wondering, well, did he finally die? Is he dead or what? But then as he's lying there and we're wondering, well, what's going on, he hears this noise, just a faint noise off in the distance that it was obvious to him that, hey, what is this? Is not something he's heard before in this island. And it just, as he's lying there with his eyes closed, the noise gets louder and closer. And of course, we're wondering, what is that? And he finally, his eyes pop open, and try to fast forward. He discovers that there has been this quite large piece of plastic that has washed ashore. This strong tide, apparently from a shipwreck or a plane wreck or something, whatever. um, he uh, manages to get this big piece of plastic and decides once again to persevere in his attempts to get off the island, and he uses it to make like a sail. He builds a raft and uses it to make a sail, which he is now going to use the wind to help him overcome this strong incoming tide. And um, of course, it wasn't easy. We're left wondering the whole time he's trying to, to get all across those waves, if he's going to make it. But finally, bottom line, he does. He makes it across to the other side, and then the next thing we know, he's sailing around, not sailing, but he's out in the ocean. And once again, despair starts to set in when he realizes that, well, here I am, whoopee-doo, out in the middle of the ocean. Did I just jump from the frying pan into the fire, as you might say? And so, fast forward, a lot of things happen, and he's once again left with, we see him lying there, in the middle of nowhere on this raft. Looks like he's well as he did this time, and he once again, he starts hearing a noise, and this time he awakes to discover that this noise is coming from an ocean liner that has just by chance happened upon him out in the middle of nowhere, I guess. And as I recall, he just looks up and he sees like an outline or a silhouette up above him of the top of the deck of a big giant ship. And you see silhouettes of heads looking over at him down below. And then, of course, we realize at this time, well, what do you know? He is going to survive. He's going to make it off of the island, and he's going to live. And then fast forward at the very end of the movie, the part that really stuck with me was that apparently this company he was working for had like a little banquet, a little celebration, get together, I guess, celebrating his story and the fact that he survived. And at the very end, he's by himself walking around the table where all the food was left over, I guess, from the banquet. And he walks around, and there's these voiceovers kind of revealing his thoughts, I guess. He picks up this little lighter, one of those little lighters that you click the button and fire comes out of the end of it. And of course, we're left to, we can just hear what he's feeling, what he's thinking, of everything he had to go through on that island just to get a little bit of fire. And then here it is, he just got to pick this thing up and click the button, and boom, there's fire. And then he walks around the table some more, and the voiceovers are kind of revealing his thoughts. And this final quote right at the end of the movie is just one of those things that has always stuck with me. I think about it a lot of times whenever I feel like I'm going through something very challenging in life, and it just seems like there's just, no hope, no even reason to keep going. And then I think about this line from that movie, and what he said is that how he was thinking to himself how important it is to persevere in life no matter what. Just keep going, because you never know what the tide is going to bring. Thank you for watching.